stopped, and it had power steering, and I couldn't steer the car. And all of a sudden, there's a gas station to the right, and I went into the gas station, and I drove into the place, and the car like just rolled in. I got the brakes to work, and some animals had gotten into the engine and frayed.
Okay, you're up.
We're on.
Recording in progress.
Time being, oh, you can let people in, Casey.
All set, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. Time being approximately 7:30 p.m., the Franklin Zoning Board of Appeals will come to order. This meeting is being recorded and televised. The listing of matters are those reasonably anticipated by the chair, which may be discussed at the meeting. Not all items listed may, in fact, be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for a discussion to the extent permitted by law. The meeting will be held via the Zoom platform. Please log in at zoom.us, whatever. Go to the website and you can look it up. It'll give you the Zoom login. Just push on the button. You may also join the meeting on your smartphone by calling 1-929-205-6099. For those looking to view the meeting, it can be viewed live at this time on Comcast 9 or Verizon 29. It is also streaming directly from Franklin TV's website. Visit franklin.tv and just click on the Town Hall TV channel.
Time being approximately 7:30 p.m., 465 Lincoln Street, Contractor Realty LLC. Applicant is seeking to add a one-bedroom residential apartment. The building permit is denied without a special permit variance from the ZBA.
Applicants present.
Yes. This is Kunal.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. I just waiting for your representative to click on. He's on. I don't know what he's doing. Are there any abutters for 465 Lincoln Street?
Yes, hi, John Wilhelmy, 13 Brook Street.
Okay. Thank you. We're just waiting for the applicant's attorney to get on the call. I see him up there. I just don't see him logged in yet. He's having an issue. Casey, can you let Richie in? Says he's having an issue.
He is in. He's just muted and his video is not on.
maybe you should try to log off and log back on again.
He just logged off.
Okay, maybe he'll try to get back in again.
Mhm.
So you must have let him in at one time then, right?
Yeah, he was in.
Yeah, to get on. Yeah, to get on the thing.
There it is.
Back again?
Oh, he's connecting right now.
Okay, I don't see it. I don't see much on my iPad.
He's logged in, however, it's still set to be muted and his video's off.
Can you open that up for him? Are they logged off because of you?
I can only ask him to unmute, which I've tried doing, and it doesn't seem to be going through.
Casey taught me that a while ago.
I
No,
did.
I told him to unmute and start talking, you know? I said, give him a second. Okay. All right, let's go. Let's just take a second out of this and let's go to the approval of the January 4th, 2024 meeting minutes. Members have been provided a copy. If you haven't had a chance to look at them yet, I'll give you a minute. And then I'll entertain a motion.
Everyone seen the minutes? Chris? Bill?
Yeah, I read it.
I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Chairman, to accept the minutes for Thursday, January 4th, 2024.
Seconded.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote. Archie.
Yes.
Phil?
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
It seems to be
Seems to be what?
an echo.
Yeah, I don't know. It's coming from, I don't know. Might be coming from,
Outer space.
yeah, well, Cornell just shut his microphone off, so that might have helped it. Let's see, what did we get here? Just a reminder to the other board members, I got an email this week from, what did they call themselves? Skillburst.com. Had
Yeah.
something to do with the State Ethics Commission. I guess you have to actually go log in through their website or something, or you can go right to the Massachusetts State. And they have you just gotta read something. It takes about 5 minutes to read it. You hit the thing and they update your certificate. I got it and I called Nancy about it, thinking it was a outside company trying to lure us in to do something with them that we didn't have to do. But she says, no, you have to do it. I actually did it and, and was able to get an updated certificate of compliance with the thing. So if you get a chance, if you got the email, if not, give me a call and I'll let you know where to go to look for it. Richie, can you hear us?
Yes.
You're finally up.
He's on 2 pages.
Yeah, you're on.
Hold
You
on.
got two things.
You don't like one, we'll go to the other one.
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah, that's better.
Sorry about that. I apparently there's a button down that you need to consent to the tape recording, and I wasn't hitting it. Sorry about that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. We've
All
already, Cornell's already introduced themselves, and we have one about
Okay,
from.
I'll start. I think I've delayed you guys enough. Thank you for hearing us tonight. As you may have mentioned, this is a proposal, a request for a special permit for the property located at 465 Lincoln Street, which is Cornell and his family owns it. It is the contractor, Realty LLC is the applicant. The property itself is located at the corner. It's on the easterly side of Lincoln Street. It's between Brook Street and Lynbrook Lane. It is about a 27,000 square foot piece of property right on Lincoln Street. There is a single building, a 2-story building on it, and it has for years been operating as the Lincoln Street Market. Formerly, I think it was Lamberto's service station. So I believe most of you are familiar with the location. It is located, interestingly enough, it's located in a single-family residential 3 zoning district. So this particular use is not something that would be typically allowed according to the zoning bylaw in that neighborhood or in that zone. So it is what we would call a pre-existing non-conforming use, meaning that it is legal. It's just something that predates the present zoning, and it's been going on for an extended period of time. I know back in 2007, and when I was doing some research on this property, they had come before the planning board. There is a special permit in the history of the property, but in reading that, it wasn't a special permit to grant this particular use because it was already pre-existing even at that time. It was for impervious coverage because they expanded the site. And I believe at that time they were looking to expand. They went from there was actual vehicle service and repair that was going on at the property, and they eliminated that, and that's when they created this convenience use and expanded the convenience store within the property, which Cornell and his family currently run. What they're proposing is the second floor of the property is unused right now. It's used for storage. It's about 540 square feet of space up there, and they would like to use that for a residential apartment. More particularly, Cornell had mentioned to me that one of his employees is looking for a residence, and it would seem to fit well with the operation of the business where his employee could live on the second floor of the property. But because of the interesting zoning, the interesting use, the pre-existing non-conforming use, and now adding a residential use to this, Gus Brown, when we discussed it with him, he felt that we were creating what would be deemed to be a mixed use at the location, which he wanted us to come and seek your counsel on and your approval. And so what we are doing is we're requesting of your board that you consider the grant of this under your bylaw. It's Chapter 185, Section 18B1. And it's the section in the zoning bylaw that deals with non-conforming uses. And it talks about you as the board have the authority to alter a pre-existing non-conforming use if you find that the proposed use is not substantially different than the current pre-existing use. And so if we look into the language of the bylaw, it does mention and define and give us some guidance about what would be deemed to be a substantially different use. And I'll read from the bylaw. It says, a substantially different use is a use which by reason of its normal operation would cause readily observable differences in patronage, service, physical appearance, noise, employment, or similar characteristics from the existing non-conforming use or from any permitted use in the zoning district in which the subject property is located. I think that last part is very compelling. It says, or from any permitted use in the zoning district which the subject property is located. Well, this subject property is located in a residential zone. And so typically, if there wasn't a convenience store use, this would be a use that would be allowed as of right, and we wouldn't be before you today. So we're suggesting that the current site, I should mention, we included an old site plan in the application materials, so it would give the board some sense of what's out there. What it is about a 2,500 square foot building, between 25 and 3,000 square foot building. As I say, it's 2-story. There is a basement that they use, I believe, for storage. The second floor is really not used, other than, you know, maybe some incidental storage as well for the convenience store use. There is it's also a filling station. There are gas pumps out front. I believe there are 4 of them. So it's not a high volume service station, filling station, but it serves the neighborhood and serves those that travel along Lincoln Street. And it has worked in that neighborhood for many years, as I mentioned. There are 13 parking spaces that service the property. So there is impervious area, and you'll see on the plan there are 13 parking spaces, which we believe are more than enough to not only service the existing use, but also with the addition of the single bedroom second floor studio apartment that is 537 square feet that we're proposing in size. So what we would suggest in accordance with the bylaw is that not only is the residential use more in line with what is currently allowed in that zoning district, but we would suggest that there are really no proposed exterior modifications at all that would be going along with this proposal. They will need to add a second egress to the property. And so you may notice in the architectural plans that we submitted along with this application, that in the rear of the building, not within visual of those traveling along Lincoln Street, there is, in order to do this, they would need to construct an exterior staircase that would connect to the second story to provide that second point of egress. There is an existing staircase that is on the left side of the building that goes up and currently accesses the space on the second floor, but they would need to install this secondary staircase that is outside, but it is not going to be visible to anyone unless it's, you know, you're the occupant and you're going up those stairs. So I think it's important to note that not only is the residential use something that is more in line with what is currently used in the zoning district, there are going to be no visible exterior modifications to the site from what it currently what currently exists there. And so we would also point out that, you know, as mentioned in the bylaw, there is going to be no readily observable differences in patronage, service, physical appearance, noise, employment, or any similar characteristic aside from this exterior staircase. So we would believe, and we would purport to the board, that this proposal would fit in line with the zoning bylaw that would allow this board to grant the special permit to allow them to do this very thing. Now, you may notice in the application materials, we also applied for a variance. And the reason why we did that was we wanted to make sure that we covered ourselves, dotted our I's, crossed our T's, because if the board felt that this was the inappropriate path for relief, alternatively, we would ask the board for a variance for use for this particular property. But I believe very strongly that this is a non-conforming use, and that the bylaw, as I mentioned, 185-18B1 specifically would give this board the authority to grant a special permit should you find that the use as proposed, with the addition of the second story, one bedroom, second floor, 537 square foot residential apartment, would not create a substantially different use than that which is currently enjoyed at the property. So we're certainly here to answer any questions that you might have regarding the site. I did speak, and I don't know if the building commissioner is on the phone with us tonight. I did speak with him this morning, and obviously he has expressed some interest, concern about the location of that second egress on the second floor. I did talk to him about that this morning, and we are prepared. I spoke to Cornell also, and they, unfortunately, their architect, due to some health issues, is not going to be present tonight. But certainly, if the board is so inclined to grant this relief and this special permit, we would make certain that on applying for a building permit that we would need to comply, obviously, with the building code, satisfy the building commissioner, and satisfy the Code of Mass regulations as to the location of this second egress. So with that, I would defer to the chair for any questions.
Do you have the special permit criteria that you want to just answer to? There's a
I
question
do,
there on-
Mr. Chairman, would you like me to run down? Are you talking about section 45, the number of ones that are generally referenced?
Yeah, the ZBA application supporting the statement for the special permit. There's like 5 different, 6 to 7 questions or something.
Sure thing.
If you would.
Yep. Okay, I'll start off and forgive me, I'll read them. The first criteria, the proposed project addresses or is consistent with the neighborhood or town need. We would suggest that the addition of an affordable 1-bedroom studio apartment would, in a small way, be consistent with the town's well-documented need for additional affordable residential housing units. Number 2, regarding vehicle traffic flow, access, and parking and pedestrian safety are properly addressed. Excuse me, the existing access drives in the parking areas, the 13 existing spaces that currently serve the convenience store are more than adequate to serve the current use at the locus with the additional single housing unit. Thirdly, public roadways, drainage, utilities, and other infrastructure are adequate or will be upgraded to accommodate the development. The existing layout of the primary access drive with the associated apron would be sufficient to accommodate emergency vehicles. The layout of the pavement and the access drive around the proposed locus would allow vehicles to access 3 sides of the proposed building. The locus has access to the public water system and the sewer system, natural gas, and telephone. And the locus underwent renovations in 2007 in the upgrade of the contemporary stormwater management system that serves the property. Next, neighborhood character and social structure would not be negatively impacted. The addition of the single studio apartment on the 2nd floor would not have any detrimental effect to the neighborhood character or social structure. The area in town in which the locus is located is characterized by residential use. The project will not destroy or cause substantial damage to any environmentally significant natural resource, habitat, or feature, or it will propose mitigation, remediation, replication, or compensatory measures are adequate. The proposed redevelopment of the locus will anticipate renovations primarily to the interior of the existing building, along with the addition of that outside stairwell that I spoke of earlier to the 2nd floor, which would provide the second point of egress to the residential apartment. The building will continue to be serviced by municipal sewer to minimize the degradation of groundwater by nitrates and phosphates. The number, height, bulk, location, and siting of the building and structures would not result in abutting properties being deprived of light or fresh air circulation, or being exposed to flooding or subjected to excessive noise, odor, light, vibrations, or airborne particulates. The only visible alteration to the exterior of the building would be the addition of that outside staircase to the 2nd floor, which is not going to be visible to the public due to its location at the rear of the building. The proposed redevelopment would not result in the abutting properties being deprived of light or fresh air circulation. And lastly, the town of Franklin water consumption and sewer use, taking into consideration current and projected future local water supply and demand and wastewater treatment capacity, would not be excessive. I think the town of Franklin water system pumps about 3 to 4 million gallons of water each day. The estimated water usage for a single apartment residential use would be approximately 75 gallons per day. According to this, the proposed water flow would not adversely affect the town's water supply. Thank you.
Thank you. I too had a discussion with the building commissioner, when this came up, because I know that the owner of the building or the owner of the operation that's going on there, the market, could have somebody called a caretaker or something, could live in that apartment up there, if it was built according to the building commissioner's standards or whatever he requires you to have in there. So it's not like it couldn't be there at all. We had a similar situation down in East Central Street. Big building down there. One of the owners decided he wanted to live upstairs, and he was given a permit to do that. This goes back to when Dave Roach was the building commissioner. I guess the original owner put this apartment in. I think he had some problems, and he was living in the apartment. I guess it's caused, I guess he was issued a cease and desist, which he did, and it's been up until this point. Just one other thing, Richie. I think you'd maybe like to explain contractors that that's exactly their name, and it's not, like Contractors LLC, just in case somebody's watching and they're curious about that, because you keep talking about the contractor.
Yes, that is true. Contractor is their last name. Cornell is here this evening. His dad was also participating in this back when we applied and received the full liquor license before the town council. And it's funny, they had a similar question when we appeared before them.
But anyway, okay, Mr. Wilhelm, as an abutter, do you have any questions or comments?
Yes, and I did read the package that you folks that was submitted by the attorney, and I read that they had to, and I'm not sure if this is for the special permit or for the variance. They had to prove some kind of hardship, and I think they said it was an economic hardship if they don't.
Well, that would be for the variance. The special permit doesn't delve
what
into
kind of
that.
economic hardship? Maybe this is a question for the attorney. The place.
Well, it doesn't pertain to the special permit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, the only other thing that I would add then, currently it's a convenience store, a liquor store, a gas station, a propane filling station, and now they want to add an apartment. I don't see the need for it. I mean, I don't know what's next after this. It's it just seems like it's a lot of stuff on top of. So that would probably be my only comment. I don't really think it's needed. If you look online, there are many empty apartments in the town of Franklin. So I probably disagree with the attorney when he said there's a need for apartments. And as an abutter, I know when the store closes at night, it's closed, and now we're going to add tenants. So that would be my only comment. Thank you.
Well, it's a 500 square foot apartment. I don't know how many tenants are going to get in.
No, I understand. I understand that. Yes.
I know what you mean. But, depending on if, like they said, it was somebody that was going to work for them, I think they could have done that anyway without coming here. But if down the road they decide they don't have anywhere, maybe they're paying the guys.
Well, that's right. Then they're going to open it up.
They move up to something bigger, and then
that
they'll
would be
get
a concern.
another tenant. Yeah,
I'd be a little leery about putting an apartment over a gas station and a propane filling station, but I guess it's allowed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll open it up to the board. Chris, any questions or comments?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Attorney Canetta hit on it a little bit. I do have some questions or concerns over the placement of the second egress. Looking at the aerial, it looks like the fence that exists is pretty tight to the building, and just wondering what the actual traffic flow, or if the fire department had to get around out back to that second egress, if that's actually possible. So just wanted to give some consideration and thought to that. There looks like there's a white vinyl fence that runs down the side there at an angle, comes pretty close to the corner of the building, and it just looks like it's pretty tight. So just some concern and consideration around that.
Richie?
Yeah, actually, they own the Chris, the property that you're referring to, or where the fencing is. I think you're referring to, if you're looking at the building, you're talking about the fence that's in the rear of the building, where the
to the rear. So if you're looking at it from Brook Street, the rear to the left.
Yeah, they actually own the property beyond that fence. In fact, the driveway of the residence that's immediately to their rear, I've been informed by the contractors that they actually own that property, but they've allowed and granted an easement for that neighbor to construct a driveway. So if there is a concern with the fence, or the fire department has a concern, we certainly have the option to, there's some options to try to address that.
Okay. I just wanted to bring it up. Thank you.
Thank you.
All set, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Thank you. Archie, any questions, comments?
It was mentioned that Gus, the building inspector, had some concern about the egress. I was wondering what that was. Was its location and can you change it from having it go out the back to, let's say, the side?
There's already, from what I was told, there's already an interior stairway that goes down into the store. Is a point of egress. And I guess they're going to build the other one. Now, I think one of Gus's concerns, what he told me was, depending on where that, they got them pretty close together. In other words, it's like one exit. You're either going to go down the stairs to go to the thing or you're going to go outside. And he was concerned that it might not be far enough apart. So those are all things that'll have to come up when they apply for a building permit for the stairwell. But if that's what you were getting at.
Yeah, I was just wondering what he had to say and what he was looking to do.
Yeah.
Because it's a pretty big building, 500 square feet. I'm sure it's not taking up much of that second floor. So,
well, it's taking up the whole second floor, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it takes up the whole second floor.
Yes, that is correct, Mr. Chairman. Archie, the second floor, the apartment, the 537 square feet is the extent of the second floor. The second floor does not cover the entire footprint of the first floor.
Okay.
And I would agree to Mr. Chairman, to address Archie's concerns. Yes, that's my understanding as well. When I spoke with Gus this morning, his concern wasn't so much where the exterior stairwell was. My understanding was the remoteness standard of the two egresses, because as you come up the stairs for the existing staircase, where they're proposing to have the second egress is fairly close to that. So there's some discussion, and we believe that our architect will be able to devise, along with Mr. Brown's office, figure out what's the best remote secondary access, and does that mean moving that further away from that staircase that is there, the interior?
Yeah, that's the way it was explained to me, was that the stairway going down into the building itself was going to be too close to the outside. At least in his mind, he wasn't sure what the dimensions were supposed to be. He was going to look into it further, but that's not for us. We're only granting the ability to do it based upon approval from the building commissioner for a building permit. So,
correct.
Anyway, all set, Arch?
Yeah, and just to be clear, that we're not going to approve the variance, or you have it on special permit and variance.
We're going to give him a special permit. You have to advertise both, depending on what we decided to do. I mean, I think I talked with the attorney a few weeks ago, and I thought it was more of a special permit, as well as talking to the zoning enforcement officer. He thought that also. It was more of a special permit, because my idea is, why do you give a variance for a residential unit in a residential zone? It's the building itself and the filling station and stuff that are pre-existing non-conforming the way they sit. The residential aspect of it is nothing more than what zone there. So if you want to say that there's already a non-conforming job or action going on, that you're going to allow the residential unit in there. So that's a little bit of a different, I forget what the terminology was, but to allow the special permit for it's not really an extension of a non-conforming use, but it's an alteration to a pre-existing non-conforming use. That's what I was trying to get at.
That's it.
Yep.
I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Philip?
No, I'm looking at that plan. I can see what Gus is talking about, but I agree with everything else. Looks okay to me.
Okay. Anything else, Attorney Canetti, you want to add before we close the public hearing?
I have nothing further. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Wellham, you're all set. Any other questions before we close the public hearing?
No, I think he answered it. I mean, I obviously, I wish he would deny it, but that's all I have to say. But you answered my questions.
Thank you very much. All right, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So move.
A second.
Motion made and seconded to close the public hearing. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote. Philip?
Yes.
Archie?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. I'll entertain a motion if you want. I can make a suggested motion that,
Yes, please do.
okay. We should entertain a motion to approve the applicant's request for a special permit allowing change, extension, or alteration of pre-existing non-conforming use to allow the addition of a one-bedroom residential studio apartment to be located on the second floor of an existing building above the pre-existing convenience store filling station on the first floor of the subject property.
So moved.
As shown on a plan denoting whatever that plan says the address is, 465
460.
Lincoln Street. 460 what?
465 Lincoln Street.
Yeah.
Limited
that's
site
what I
plan
have.
modification dated November 9th, 2007.
Okay.
Seconded.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Chair votes yes. Philip?
Yes.
Archie?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
we already, yeah, thank you. All right, we got to go to the 7:35 call. We'll read it off.
Nothing here on mine. Oh, wait a minute.
On the second page.
I just jumbled up all the pages here.
It's on the
Yeah.
back. I can read it.
Go ahead.
It being 735, 860 West Central Street, Cam Alfonso, applicant is seeking to install a sign that has been electronic or has an electronic LED message center. The building permit is denied without a variance from the ZBA.
Okay, when receipt of a letter to whom it may concern, regret to inform you that we are withdrawing the application for Glenn Farmer in regards to the approval of an LED sign that we requested. We may try for approval at a later date. Please and thank you for your time. Cam Alfonso, signed by Cam, owner. All right, I'll entertain a motion that we let the applicant withdraw without prejudice.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Roll call vote. Archie?
Aye.
Philip?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Casey, anything else to come before the board?
No, Mr. Chairman.
No meeting on February 1st?
No meeting February 1st. Next meeting is February 15th.
15. Okay. Of which we only have, I think, one applicant. Well, we got a continuation. So it might be a little drawn out because we're going to talk about engineering, I guess. So
Motion to
maybe we'll get into traffic too. But go ahead, Phil.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and second to adjourn, non-debatable. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Roll call vote. Philip?
Yes.
Archie?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night, all.
Yes.
Good night.